First City Focus is supported in part by Duke Energy, powering the lives of its customers and communities. Online at duke-energy.com. Andy Ellerman of First City Wealth, serving Vincennes and surrounding communities to help with investing and planning for your future before and during retirement years. First City Wealth online at firstcitywealth.com. Colonial Assisted Living. Colonial is an assisted living residence promoting independence and dignity for each resident while providing the necessary assistance for daily living. Colonial Assisted Living, 1622 South Hart Street Road in Vincennes, 812-895-1504. And by donations contributed by Vincennes PBS viewers like you. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to First City Focus. I'm your host, Dave Foster, and on this episode, we'll talk with officials from the Red Skelton Museum of American Comedy as preparations are underway for the upcoming Comedy Convention and 20th Annual Parade. We'll visit the recent Rainbow Over the Bridge Festival, which took place at a new location this year. Skateboarding culture was celebrated in Vincennes during National Go Skateboarding Day on June 21st, and we'll take you to the Loogootee Summerfest. We have these stories and more right now on First City Focus. This summer, Vincennes once again becomes a stage for laughter, legacy, and classic comedy as the second annual Red Skelton Convention is set to bring performers, fans, and families together for a 3-day celebration of performances, film screenings, tributes to classic TV legends, and a downtown parade that hits a milestone this year. And here to talk about all of that is Ann Pratt, the Executive Director of the Red Skelton Museum of American Comedy. Always good to have you here with us, Ann.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
So let's talk about the convention. Last year, you kind of changed formats and called it a comedy convention.
Yes, we did. We were really kind of honing in on that second part of our title of the museum, the Red Skelton Museum of American Comedy, and really kind of focusing in on that. In the past, we had had more of a clown festival with kids' games and that sort of thing. And it's not that we're getting rid of all the aspects of that festival, but we're just kind of adding a few more things to it with these comedy legends, and you are correct in saying that because we're really excited about our lineup this year.
Awesome. So what's been the response of changing it to that?
Well, we're still building on it. I think people are still getting used to the idea that, okay, where are the kids' games? But we're like, that was just really something that took a lot of volunteers, and we felt like it really wasn't necessarily advancing the mission of the museum, whereas I think this new format is. And so I know that people are really excited this year to get to see some of these things we're bringing in.
Yeah, and this year's theme is kind of rural comedy.
It is. It says Clem goes to Hooterville, and if you remember, Clem Cadiddlehopper is Red's country bumpkin character. He always said he was based on a character that he knew here in Vincennes, Mr. Carl Hopper, which I don't know about that for sure, but Clem's definitely his country bumpkin character, and he's leading the charge this year. But we're also, looking at Green Acres and Petticoat Junction and bringing in a few ties to those shows as well.
Yeah, so what ties are you bringing in?
Well, for Green Acres, if you'll remember Green Acres, they had Arnold the Pig. Well, obviously someone has to train Arnold the Pig, and that man's name was Frank Inn. And Frank Inn has passed away, but David Reddick, an Indiana native, is here to talk about Frank Inn's life and his job in training animals, because not only did he train Arnold, but also Benji the dog, who is also the same dog on Petticoat Junction.
Yeah.
So he'll be talking a little bit about him. And then with Green Acres, you may know that a Vincennes native was on Green Acres. Alvy Moore was Hank Kimball, county agent.
Yeah.
And so Doug Carroll is going to be doing a 50-minute presentation on Alvy Moore's life and his tour to be a star on Green Acres.
Awesome. That'll be great. And the festival's in mid-July, starts on Red's birthday.
Red's birthday, yes. It would have been, I guess, Red's 112th birthday this year. Yes. So it will kick off on Friday. And the big show that evening is a Red Skelton tribute. And sometimes the Brian Hoffman Red Skelton show has been on Saturday night, but because Red's birthday was on Friday, we decided that would be a great lead off to the festival. So that show will kick things off at 7:30 p.m. on Friday night. And if you've not seen Brian's show, or even if you have, he has his own theater in Pigeon Forge. And we have a great pricing for the show, just $15. And it really feels like you are watching a live Red Skelton show. Mrs. Skelton said it really almost scared her the first time she saw Brian perform, because it was so similar to Red's mannerisms and his voice quality, and it really is a great show.
That's certainly a talent to come off like that.
It really is. It really is. And he's had, kind of a long and winding road to get to this place where he's impersonating Red Skelton, but he has really nailed it.
Yeah. So the festival starts on the 18th and runs through the weekend?
Yes,
that right?
It runs through Sunday. So on the 18th, prior to Brian's show, we actually have a couple of things that morning. At noon, we have one of our board members who's a Mason and a Shriner will be doing a Masonic tribute to Red, and just talking a little bit about his Masonic recognitions he had. And he got his 33rd degree right here in Vincennes at Lodge 1.
Is that right?
So then they'll be touring Lodge 1 after the presentation. And so that's a way to kick it off on that Friday. And then we have bus tours, one on Friday, one Saturday, and one Sunday. And those are starting on Friday, and that's an hour-long guided tour that talks about all the places of significance in Vincennes for Red.
Wow. So what are some of those places around
Well,
town?
one is the Pantheon. Of course, he really credits an experience he had at the Pantheon when he was 10 years old as inspiring him to go into show business. And now when we do stop at the Pantheon, actually people get off the bus tour and go in and check out the mural that's inside the Pantheon. They look at the mural on the back of the parking lot at Vigo Street. They see Red's dad's grave in the cemetery, which is kind of cool because people are always pasting little clown statues on his gravestone. They'll see his birthplace, a few other places where he may have lived or worked. So it's a full hour on the bus learning a lot about Red Skelton's life here in Vincennes.
Awesome. And Mrs. Lothian Skelton will be here for the...
She will. She'll be here for everything. She gets in earlier in that week, and so she'll be here. And there's a dinner with Mrs. Skelton on Saturday. Saturday's really our full day of events. And they kick off in the morning with a bus tour at 10. We have the parade, which I know we'll talk about a little bit more later, but that'll be at 11 a.m. And then we start with the talks. We'll have the talk from Frank Inn and the talk about Alvy Moore. And then one that I'm really excited about is the Lucy and Desi tribute at 3 p.m. And that will actually be in the big theater. And these guys are amazing. Jeff and Carrie Ketterman out of Corydon, Indiana, do an amazing job.
And they've been here before, right?
They have. They have performed at one of our other festivals. They did... I don't think they did Lucy and Desi that year, but they might have. I'm not remembering for sure, but they're so multi-talented. I know they were here and did a Roaring Twenties thing for one of our shows as well. But then that evening is the dinner with Mrs. Skelton. So if you've never had a chance to meet Mrs. Skelton, or even if you have, you can get tickets for the dinner with Mrs. Skelton and then on to the show that evening. And I think that's the show on Saturday evening is one thing I'm most looking forward to. Bob Nelson from New York was here last year, and we had a lot of mess ups last year at the festival because we lost our air conditioning at the last minute. We had to move everything. So not as many people got to see Bob Nelson last year as I really wish could have, because he is so funny. I mean, the entire place was literally laughing so our stomachs hurt. He is that funny, truly. And it kind of reminds you of Red Skelton. He has a lot of crazy characters that he brings out during his show, but he is hilarious, and he will be doing his show at 7:30 on Saturday. And then our final thing on Sunday is a film fest, showing Red's Texas Carnival, and then My Life as a Robot, which is a documentary about Robert Shields of Shields and Yarnell, the mimes.
I remember them. It seems like they were on every variety show in the early mid-70s.
And I actually think they came to VU and performed when I was a kid as part of early alumni community series shows with Shields and Yarnell.
Yeah, I can remember even trying to mime the mimes. So,
so exactly. So that film will be on Sunday along with Texas Carnival. And one of the good things is with your festival button, they're just $7, and you'll get into all the talks on Saturday, the Lucy and Desi afternoon show, and the film fest. And the buttons are just $7, and they'll get you into all those things, as well as 3 days admission to the museum. There's separate ticket pricing for the dinner with Mrs. Skelton, the 2 evening shows, and the bus tour will all have separate ticket pricing.
All right. Then where can you get those buttons at?
The buttons are available at the museum. Okay. So anytime between now and the comedy convention, you can pick up your buttons. And then all the other tickets are available online. So if you go to our website, redskeltonmuseum.org, there's ticket links for everything there, and you can get digital tickets that way.
Awesome, awesome. So again, it's July the 18th. through
the 20th. Yes.
Yeah,
So a lot of few things on Friday, a lot of stuff on Saturday the 19th, and then the Film Fest on Sunday.
So with the time we got left, let's talk about why do you think Red still, people are still attracted to Red's performances in comedy?
I think just it's kind of timeless, That's what's interesting about Brian Hoffman's show. All the jokes he does in the show are jokes Red did in the 80s, basically, when he did some of his HBO specials, and they all sound perfectly relevant today. And just, I think people appreciate the clean humor, and that's something with the rural comedy. I mean, I know in the early 70s, CBS removed a lot of their rural shows from TV because they felt like they needed some edgier comedy. But I think now things are starting to turn back. And, I saw Nate Bargatze on Sunday, and full clean comedy. Jim Gaffigan, full clean comedy. I think that things are turning a little bit, and people are beginning to appreciate humor that doesn't necessarily make you uncomfortable to watch it with your mom.
Yes, exactly. So Red Skelton Comedy Convention, July the 18th through the 20th.
And don't forget the parade on
the
Saturday
parade,
at 11 a.m.
20th
And
anniversary.
significantly about the parade, this is our 20th year for the Red Skelton Parade. It started in 2006 before the museum was even built, and it has just kept growing and kept changing. And we've really got some great partnerships with the Shriners and other clowns that are going to be there. The Lincoln Band is going to be in the parade, and really excited. So get down on Main Street or 5th Street and claim your spot to watch that Red Skelton Parade on Saturday at 11 a.m.
All right, sounds good. Ann Pratt, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
All right. And for more information on that comedy convention and everything pertaining to the Museum of American Comedy or Skelton Performing Arts Center, just follow the links at our website. Each year, Jeep owners from all walks of life roll into Vincennes for the annual Heaps of Jeeps Festival. It's a weekend of fun, but with a purpose. The event raises money for something we all depend on, and photojournalist Dave Novak takes us to the 10th anniversary celebration, shows us what keeps the Jeepers coming back every year.
So my husband and I started Heaps of Jeeps with actually a partnership with our Knox County Chamber as an amazing way to bring people to our amazing county, and it's fun. My husband and I, we have 2 kids. Our oldest is 10 years old. And it was great. We could take him to these Jeep rides, and it was a great time. Once we knew without a doubt we would have at least 100 Jeeps come to town, it was time to incorporate and do something amazing for our community and for our local first responders. So I am a firm believer that the first responders, they are the pillars of our community. They help each and every one of us by keeping us safe and secure. They pick up the call in the darkest hour. My goal is to raise $100,000 plus for our local first responders here. We have, since inception of our nonprofit, returned directly over $140,000 to our local first responders in their time of need.
When we did our Jeep, it's in memorial of all the fallen officers from the state of Indiana. So we've got the police officer badge on the hood, and then we've got the name of every officer that's been killed in the line of duty from the entire state of Indiana. My wife and I just have a big respect for law enforcement. We don't feel like they get enough recognition for what they do, so we wanted to show our respect for them.
Basically, this tells it all right here. It's all about the military, first responders.
So how long was your guys' drive?
Took us about 15 hours.
I'm originally from here, moved to Florida about 6 years ago, and actually we come back up here because our Jeep needed to get some repairs. I used to work for what used to be Yoakum's, and I wanted some people that I knew and trusted to work on it. So we're getting some repairs already done, and we thought we'd do the Heaps of Jeeps while we were here. We named it the Pavement Queen because it does not see anything but the pavement.
So my big Jeep's name is Captain, also the little Jeep, but he kind of goes by Captain Cito for Little Captain. So we actually just got here, so I haven't met too many people yet. I'm from Champaign, Illinois, so just got here this afternoon and looking forward to meeting everybody. It's my first time here in Vincennes, so definitely excited to celebrate my birthday and the Jeep Fest here. So what drew me to it is I'm a true seasonal person. I like to decorate, I like to have fun and do parades and all different things. So the Jeep community is really awesome because it gives you the chance to decorate, the chance to be in parades, and the chance to just have fun. And it's the only vehicle that comes standard with friends.
Have you attended Heaps of Jeeps before?
I've been probably the last 8 or 10 of them since this is when I started them. Oh, it's pretty fun when you come here on weekend and stuff. You meet all kinds of people from all over the states, from Indiana all the way to Canada, all the way to all over places. It's pretty cool.
Just letting you guys know that according to the weather report, this storm is going to be very short-lived. Pass through, and then after that it looks clear. I'm not a weather guy, but that's what the weather report says, so hang tight.
Get rained on?
A little bit, yeah, but it's all fun.
I was once asked to describe a Jeeper, and literally you cannot. As you look around here, you will see no two Jeeps are alike whatsoever. And just as individual as the Jeeps are their owners. So you will have Jeepers that just started Jeeping. Like they probably got the Jeep this week, and you'll have some that are like, I've been Jeeping for 70 years. Families, we have people that even come and make they make a girls' weekend out of it. They come and celebrate birthdays. It's Father's Day weekend. You will see a lot of family here celebrating their dads. What better place to do with a shared love of Jeeps?
Now, despite the rain, more than 350 Jeeps took part in this year's poker run. Organizers say the event raised over $104,000 to support local first responders. And another $4,700 was collected for the Ryan Johanningsmeyer Memorial Scholarship through the Mid-American Pilots Association, Chapter 114. It was a hot start to summer, but that didn't stop crowds from gathering in Vincennes for the annual Rainbow Over the Bridge Festival, now in its 7th year and growing. The event did move to a new location to accommodate the crowds this year, and photojournalist Tessa Haig has more.
And we do hugs, high fives, fist bumps, but it's not required.
But I really like it.
I'll take off.
I'm over here doing my mom thing.
In Vincennes, Indiana, a celebration of love, identity, and community continues to grow. Now, in its 7th year, Rainbow Over the Bridge has become a place of inclusion, pride, and for some, it's a chance to feel seen.
One of the most important things is representation. For me personally, my own self, I've kind of been on my own journey of figuring out my own sexuality. I just think if I had had more representation from a younger age, maybe my life would have looked differently. And not that I would change anything, but I do think it's very important that people have the opportunity to see all different sorts of diversity, representation. Families come in different shapes and sizes, and I think especially in a super southern rural community, I think it's even more important that we offer this, and not just for the representation, but also just as a show of support, because you don't ever know what people are going through.
Pride is really for everybody, and even if you don't think of yourself that way, you probably know somebody who is part of that community who isn't comfortable telling you that they are. It's an opportunity for people to expand their minds a little bit and to understand that gay and queer people have always been here. They existed before the revolution, during and after, and this is an event that helps remind people of that fact.
This year, the event moved from Patrick Henry Square to the French Commons, giving it a much-needed change.
One of the main reasons that we wanted to change is I think people don't realize when you're planning a festival like this, all the work that goes into it. One of the downfalls about Patrick Henry Square is the stage setup and the dance floor setup. We show up on Friday, it's a 3 or 4 hour process. Saturday is no less than 12 hours, and then we have to come back Sunday, and again, 2 or 3 hours to tear down the stage and put everything away. So the idea with the French Commons, it's got this beautiful covered stage. It's got all of the shade. Patrick Henry Square, again, not a lot of shade. It's largely in the sun. And we just thought, how cool would it be to be able to show up on Saturday morning, do what we need to do, and be done.
Behind the scenes, a small team spends countless hours volunteering to bring this event to life.
We started late last year, probably in the fall. There's so many things to consider, everything from getting permission to use these grounds to being in contact, is someone gonna mow the grass? Are the sticks gonna get picked up? What about bathrooms? What about trash cans? What about electricity? So many things that you just don't think about until you're actually actively involved in planning an event like this.
And while organizers face occasional negativity, they remain focused on what matters most.
if you're putting your attention towards that negativity, that's where your energy is going to go. A lot of times it's you just don't give attention to it. I think what's important is that we continue to persist and let people know that we're not going anywhere. It's just a place for people to show up and be with other people, right? Whether you're gay, whether you're straight, whether you're anywhere on that spectrum, it doesn't matter. It's just a showing of community. It's showing up, being together, and just letting people know that, like, we're here.
With First City Focus, I'm Tessa Haig.
Planning for next year's festival is already underway as organizers hope to keep building on that sense of community and inclusion. It's been nearly a year since the grand opening of the skate park at Leicester Square in Vincennes, and this summer one of the park's original goals became a reality, hosting a major event that brings together the community and celebrates skateboarding culture. Photojournalists Dave Novak and Adam Reinhardt take us to the Go Skateboarding Day showcase and competition.
I've been skating probably about, I would say, 4 months, I would think. I originally got into skating because I moved up here to the small town of Vincennes, and there's not a lot to do up here. And they had just showed me that they had built this new park here. So one of my buddies, Dalton, got me into skateboarding, taught me basically everything I know. How's it going, Dalton? How's it going for you? It's become a great, I guess you'd say, bonding experience. I didn't know nobody when I got up into this town. And I was worried about people being mean and what people would think when I first started skating. But everyone just helped me through it. They were like, hey man, I can help you do this. This is how you do that. They were all real helpful.
I love it. I love it. With these young kids, I remember being out as a young kid skateboarding, and that was the only thing I focused on was skateboarding. All the way up from my teenage years to even my early 20s, like thating was it. And to know that these guys are getting into something that they can fall in love with, it gives me kind of joy for them that they're gonna have something that'll never give up on them and never leave them. It's something that they can come escape from the rest of the world to come to the skate park, and that's what I like about it. I tell these kids all the time, they're starting to get mad at not landing something. It's like, man, you guys don't understand what you guys have compared to what I had as a kid. I mean, that makes me sound older than what I am, but it's true. If I had something like this as a kid, oh man, my limit I feel would be endless with skateboarding. June 21st, Go Skateboard Day. It just started in the United States, but now the sport's grown, so now it's just a nationally known day for skateboarding, just to go skate, have a good time, and enjoy the life that skateboarding brings. That's all it's really about, nothing else to it. Just a beginner, intermediate, and advanced contest. We're gonna have a best trick, just to have a good day, man. We've got music, food trucks are coming. I just want to create something for the kids and even people to just come out and watch skateboarding.
I grew up in a small town in southern Illinois, which we didn't have a skate park. There wasn't much of a skate scene. I lived in Lawrenceville for a while, and then I moved over here, and I met Jesse and Ryan and a few people. And the skate scene was actually pretty decent around here, but the park that they had before this one wasn't the greatest. So this is definitely a great addition to the skate scene here. There's enough here for anybody of any age, any skill level to learn tricks, to perfect their tricks, and have a safe place to do it where they're not like in the street with the pedestrians, cars, different things like that, or the risk of getting kicked out by like authorities. I'm gonna try to stay consistent as possible and see if we can take home the win today.
My goal is to just everybody have a good day. I want to give some stuff away to some kids and just enjoy skateboarding for the day.
Organizers say calling it fun and successful was an understatement, and after this year's turnout and energy, they say Go Skateboarding Day is now a permanent fixture on their calendar. As summer 2025 rolls on, local festivals continue to define the season, including the annual Loogootee Summerfest. That was a fun day. We hope you've enjoyed this look at early summer on this week's First City Focus. And for everyone here at Vincennes PBS, I'm Dave Foster. Be sure and join us again next week.
First City Focus is supported in part by Duke Energy, powering the lives of its customers and communities. Online at duke-energy.com. Andy Ellerman of First City Wealth, serving Vincennes and surrounding communities to help with investing and planning for your future before and during retirement years. First City Wealth online at firstcitywealth.com. Colonial Assisted Living. Colonial is an assisted living residence, promoting independence and dignity for each resident while providing the necessary assistance for daily living. Colonial Assisted Living, 1622 South Hart Street Road in Vincennes, 812-895-1504. And by donations contributed by Vincennes PBS viewers like you. Thank you.